हेलो गाइस। तो आज हम बहुत ही ऑसम सेशन करने वाले हैं, ठीक है? बिकॉज इंटरव्यूज और इंटरव्यू प्रिपरेशन बंदे की लाइफ का सबसे बड़ा दुख होता है। ओके, और उसी चीज को हम पूरी तरह से कवर करेंगे आज के सेशन में। जस्ट वन सेकेंड। ओके, so everything is done and everything is set up, and हमारा डिस्कशन, the today discussion is more about how to exactly get awesome job or awesome placement, or how exactly to get settled at a good company. Okay, तो उसके लिए सबसे पहले हमारे को क्लासिफिकेशन करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है? क्लासिफिकेशन किस चीज का? कि अच्छी कंपनी कैसी हो। अब हर बंदे की अपनी अलग फीलिंग होगी। जस्ट वन सेकेंड। यप। ओके, सो थोड़ा कमेंट मेरे पास में भी हल्का से शायद लैग में आ रहे हो, तो आई विल जस्ट हैव टू चेक फॉर दैट। अगर कमेंट्स लैग नहीं कर रहे तो बढ़िया है। ओके, ऑसम ऑसम। सब बढ़िया चल रहा है। एक बार सब कंफर्म भी कर सकते हो, ऑडियो वगैरह सब फाड़ आ रही है नहीं आ रही है बच्चों? एंड उसके बाद में हम ऑसम लेवल पे शुरू कर पा रहे होंगे, ठीक है? बट आई सपोज ऑडियो एकदम सही है। ओके ओके, सो सम स्टूडेंट्स आर मोर टुवर्ड इंग्लिश, so we will do that. And the first thing about that is it was very rainy today. It's very cold. Generally, you will not hear me saying that ke bhai sahab, it's chilly, but today it's really very very chilly. It is very cold. Okay, and I'm kind of shivering in cold right now. But session is session, and there is always this fight between Hindi and English, but you don't have to worry about that. Language is just the language. So ठीक है, we were talking about companies, and companies are really dramatic things. So we have three classification for companies. First classification is startups. Okay, startups are awesome companies, ठीक है? Work with them, you will really enjoy. Startups are really awesome companies. Then we have service based companies, and then we have our what? Product based companies. Okay, सही है। So startup, which companies falls in startup zone? ठीक है, एक बार put up some names, some awesome startup companies for which you guys would like to work with. You know, names that you want to work with but are startups. Oh, sorry, screen share done रह गया। Thanks. Screen share. Cool. Yep. So some awesome startup companies that you would like to work with. Okay. We have got one name, Zomato. We have got Oyo. We got Cred. Cred is awesome company. The concept of Cred is so awesome that you are getting money for paying money. Okay. And if any of you have got ke matlab, how they're really earning the money. That is very funny and very simplified. They're just putting up the use case of coins, and with that they are earning. Okay, we got the name Gojek. Okay, we got Adhar is saying code for cause. Yes, you can work with us. That is nice. uh, Google is not startup. But you're getting the point. You have got awesome name of companies in the startups. Okay, then there comes service based companies, and we have a lot of service based companies. Okay, the famous ones are what? TCS and Wipro, Capgemini, and blah 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 blah. We know a lot of names that falls in the service-based company, and you can even put up some names from your side. And probably, as you guys know, most of the mass recruiting companies falls in this, service-based companies. Okay, so you guys are still on this part. Startup based, so now respond with the service based companies. Okay, so we're getting a lot of awesome name: Infosys, TCS, Cisco, Accenture. Yes, so we have a lot of service based companies and many of them are even good too. The problem arise when we treat them the wrong way. If you have a particular requirement, then generally these service based companies can even provide you some awesome things, and awesome environment that you would like to work with, but that depend on what exactly you want from your career. Okay, so service based companies we have a lot. We have Accenture, TCS, Wipro, and Nagaro. Okay, Nagaro is also a good service based company. And then we have these product based companies, and these are the companies everybody is seeking toward. Okay, we have Google here, the FAANG companies. Everybody know about FAANG companies, right? So you guys can tell me what is exactly FAANG. Facebook, Amazon, Apple, and Netflix and Google. So these are FAANG companies. All of them are product companies. ठीक है? तो अब तुमने कहा ठीक है, placement, you need placement. A lot of other companies as well are here, but right now I'm just putting up some examples. So difference, where is the difference? क्या difference है इसमें, है ना? तुम्हारे पास में जो startup companies हैं, the startup companies, service companies and the product companies, what exactly is happening? Where exactly the difference is coming from? So that is the work environment. ठीक है? And work environment requirement is different for everyone. Okay? And the second change is the package. ठीक है? This is the second difference. तो वर्क एनवायरनमेंट के हिसाब से देखा जाए, सो इफ यू वांट टू गो विद अ स्टार्टअप, ठीक है, स्टार्टअप क्या बोलेगा, व्हाट इज द नीड ऑफ द स्टार्टअप, दैट यू नो हाउ टू वर्क, पहले से यू ऑलरेडी नो हाउ टू वर्क, एंड नाउ लेट्स कम टुगेदर एंड मेक समथिंग. ठीक है, तो जनरली दे विल रिक्वायर डेवलपमेंट नॉलेज, less of DSL go, not too much, only a little bit of DSNL go, a lot of development. Okay, and they will have quite like 8 to 10 or maybe some 12 hours working. Okay, generally they will say 8 to 10, but sometimes they stretch to 12 hours because requirement padta hai, requirement to hai na. When you're working on a product, startup company hai, they will need, okay, we have a launch, especially in startups, launches are pretty frequent. So you will have, pretty frequently you will have, work stretching to 8 to 10 hours to 12 hours, and generally which are a bit easier in service based companies. But in product based companies, you're learning that, awesomely, because you are always working on the edge, you are always on the top of the things. So because of that, on the startup based companies, you generally learn a lot, and the requirement of, the things which are not exactly in the company, exactly not in used company, exactly not used in companies, are pretty less. Generally they target more toward development. Okay, then we talk about what, service based companies. Service based companies have pretty different opinion about things. They say, even if you don't know coding, to some level we will accept you. Okay, especially if I talk about Infosys sometimes even hire people on just based on the base of aptitude. Okay, make sense? There is one line from Avand Hood. I'm not able to speak the name. That Zomato and Swiggy, Cred are not startup anymore. The point is that they come in startup category only, but startups also have multiple categories. Okay, so you cannot say that these companies do not fall into the startup category. Especially when I talk about the way they work. Okay, so we don't have to do with the thing what exactly they have their inner working in terms of what they are called in terms of documents, but what we are talking about is the categorization of work environment, package, and their hiring pattern and things like that. And in those categories they are still startups. Okay, so we were talking about, yes, Wipro, TCS, and these kind of companies. So they do a little bit of DSL go. Okay, and nothing of development. You just come, learn with us, make some things and things like that. Okay, these are easy companies. You can easily target them, you can easily get involved with them. Okay, but at the same time, generally you are at risk of bad project. Okay, because bad projects come a lot in service based companies, you are at risk of getting the bad project. ठीक है, रिस्क तो है और डेंजरस रिस्क है. इसका मतलब if you want to prepare for something else, you know, you want that you have got, offer from this company, you don't want to be in this company, but you want to prepare for something else, ठीक है? Let us suppose तुम्हारे को क्या करना है, तुम्हारे को गवर्नमेंट जॉब के लिए प्रिपेयर करना है, okay? Go for the service based company, you know, use your 1 year 2 years, generally you do not get fired from service based companies if you are doing sufficient enough job. You might not get awesome raise, but you will not get fired. Make sense? So if you want to prepare for government job or some other project or things like that, go for the service based company, because you will be having sufficient amount of time for yourself, and you will be able to, do some random stuff. Okay, so in that case, service based companies are good. DSLGO, basic requirement, development no requirement, aptitude kind of things, and generally the package in these companies goes for that kind of value only, like from 4 to 8 LPA, and the 8 to 12 is is also there, but in that case DSLGO is required, and a bit of development is also required, a bit, and a bit. Okay, so to some level, DSLGO and development both are required for 8 to 12 type companies within the service domain itself only. Okay, if you are from a good college or things like that, you will have, with these kind of features, you will get good enough job in service base as well. Okay, but then the most seeked companies, सबसे ज़्यादा सीख किसको करते हैं लोग? ठीक है भाई साहब, गूगल में जॉब करनी है, आई वांट टू वर्क इन गूगल, these product based companies. Okay, so they go for DSLGO to some good level, and generally it is a bit between mix of, देखो ये चीज तो done है, it is very very important, all the product based companies will have to, you will have to learn DSLGO to good level, but at the same time you also need development to good level. क्यों? Because these companies will give you a package of maybe 12 to 24 lakh, okay, and maybe more. But more awesome thing is, just after joining, after 2 to 3 months, you will have incredible type of projects on your neck, and even if sometimes they don't ask development kind of questions and things while the interview, if you don't have sufficient level of knowledge, sorry, sufficient level of knowledge of development, when you enter these companies, you will get crushed. ठीक है, because probably you would have heard कि भाई साहब Amazon के अंदर there is no work life balance, and the people who say कि Amazon have no work life balance are the people who get hired in Amazon, because you know that Amazon hire a lot from you know uh, tier 1 tier 2 tier 3 all colleges, they hire a lot if you have sufficient level of DS and algo. Okay, you will find that a lot of coaching centers, a lot of training setups say that these many people got hired in Amazon, these many people got hired in Amazon, but eventually what happens is that people say that they got hired but they're not feeling satisfied because they're not having any work life balance. ठीक है, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस क्यों नहीं है? Because they do not have sufficient dev skills that they are required at company like Amazon or Google and things like that. So finally what will happen, that even if you get hired, you will eventually get crushed. Okay, and you have to take care of that. So we have covered what these three companies are, kind of the package they provide. We haven't discussed the package that Zomato, Oyo, these kind of companies provide. Generally the package they provide is in between 8 to 12. So if we see the general pattern, the service based companies provide in general 4 to 8, the startups companies provide generally 8 to 12, and the product based companies provide generally 12 to 24. Obviously there are some some companies have some different level of hierarchy and things, and because of that you will find even more kind of patterns, but this is the general trend that I'm providing you. Okay, just 1 second. Cool. Okay, so we are getting good questions, we are getting do fund companies come for people with, just 1 second, मैं थोड़ा सा I'm getting a bit of small size screen, so I just had to resize it. Do fund companies come for people with backlogs? Generally, only startups accept people with backlogs. Okay, only startups accept people with backlogs. Okay, we are getting one more good question. What are DS and algo? DS algo are data structures and algorithms. Okay, very important things. Okay, why data structures and algorithms are important? Data structures, how you store data in the memory for processing, for operations, and algorithms, the kind of operations and kind of like, if I ask about a stack, what is a stack? Stack is, you know last in first out. Whatever is on the top will be the first to get removed. Okay, and why you need that? If I talk about an Android application, so Android application have its activities stacked. Okay, so if you do not have the proper concept of what exactly stack is, you will not understand how exactly activities are getting stacked up, how they are getting removed, and kind of things. If I talk about the optimization of application, because you don't want an application developer, if you had an Android application developer, you don't want that something that could be done in n complexity, they are doing in n square complexity. Why you don't want that? Because if this guy is having an application with, like, if I talk about the space complexity, and 1 GB RAM is required. Okay, and they're doing in n square. Say they are putting up n square, that is, 1 GB is what, 1000 MB. 1 MB is 1000 KB. Then, if I simply talk about 8 bit, 1000 okay, so what could be done in 1 GB RAM, this guy would be doing in 8 into 10 to power 9 GB RAM. Okay, and obviously your customer do not have a phone of this much RAM, do they? Okay, and I'm talking about some great bullshit that can happen here. There could be some easier stuff that you could have done wrong. Okay, like n login, instead of n, your application is using n login, so still it is using much more than it should have. And probably because of that, that initially with some smaller data your phone generally work fine, but when you increase your uses, after some time your phone start to crash, because generally what happens is that a lot of applications are not made that optimized. And generally, probably would have seen that generally application from Google, Amazon, these kind of companies have a better experience, and generally Paytm kind of application have a bit not so good experience, because generally the people who are there have different level of optimization expertise. Okay, so that is the thing that you understand from that. And then we have different question, that what exactly is development. Okay, so DSL को सीख लिया, problem solving सीख ली, you got how to solve a question. But the more important thing that we haven't got, that what you are trying to solve, what you're trying to make. You got in company, but what now? What you are finally are going to create, what exactly is server, what exactly is client, how you create a web application, like with the help of, you want to create REST API. Okay, or maybe you want to make some CLI, command line applications. Okay, you want to make some mobile application. What are the different concepts? When you're talking about server, what exactly is scalability? Okay, how to make scalable applications? So these kind of things, if you don't know and you enter a company, how will you understand the jargons that they are talking about? Okay, so these are kind of information that you need when you are really targeting for a company, when you're really going for a placement. Okay, and obviously, a lot of people do not talk about that. A lot of people just simply say that okay, ठीक है, DSL को इतना कर लिया, you will be good for a company, you will be good for a job, and that's it. But that's a bullshit. Okay, you have to have a bit practice about what you're talking. Okay, so when you create your resume and you're putting some things in that, okay, especially about your academics and especially about your projects, they should mean something. You cannot simply just put something on the your resume. They should really mean something. And especially when I talk about projects, because academics, not a lot of people are going to see. Generally they are going to see your skills and your projects. Okay, and a lot of people ask, why company only ask kind of DSL go questions right now when you're saying development is important? It is more because Generally, people do not have sufficient type of projects on their resume. They only have skills that can represent their DS Ergo and competitive skills. Okay, so because of that, companies are bound to only ask question based on the skills and lesser number of questions from the projects. But if you find someone experienced, if when they're hiring experienced person, they change their focus. They change their focus to that now they will ask more question from the project itself. So I will suggest that if you are a person who who is better interested in development, you can skip that part and you can go for this one. Okay, like not exactly skip, you can have lesser energy on DS Algo and more energy on the project part. You should have sufficient competency about what exactly you can make, what exactly you can create, obviously to optimize that. But at the same time, you should know that after that part is done, you have to finally make some applications. Just 1 second. Okay, so one more thing that people are asking in the comment section, that is that we have said that no, sorry, today we are gonna do our giveaway for the courses. So especially for the 6 months courses that we are having, I will just showcase what I'm talking about. Okay, sorry. Okay, so if you go for Code for Cause website, that is our website, and you go for the courses, generally the requirement that you have, okay, you need data structure algorithms, you need web development, machine learning, or kind of things like competitive programming. So we have made courses on that, and obviously some of you know about these courses already, some of you might have seen. Especially I'm putting about the giveaway that I'm doing. We will be doing the discussion parallelly, but at the same time, because people don't feel comfortable if we do not provide the information at the same time. So this is the course link I have already provided here, but at the same time I'm providing something great, that is the coupon for that. This is the link, and on the 6 months, especially on the 6 months courses, you have this coupon. I'm putting up 3 coupons for this. Okay, so you can use this and you can get, just 1 second. Yep, here it is. This is the coupon for 6 months courses, and I have added 3 coupons for this for 70% off. You can go and get it, and if you buy the course, put it here in the comment box that you have bought it, so that I know that you have used the coupons. After these are done, I will put up more coupons for these kind of courses. Okay, these are applicable only on 6 months courses. Okay, so because those are specially made for interview preparation kind of thing, and right now today we are talking about that only, the kind of preparation that you can do. Especially if I talk about these JavaScript course, it is targeted both toward data structure algorithms and web development. And if you really want something specific toward your interview preparation, these things can really help you a lot. Okay, these are very minimal cost. Okay, 9,900 rupees, and especially after 70% off, it is nothing. Okay, 6 months live course, 80 live lectures. You will really love this stuff. Okay, really love this stuff. 6 months course. I will put up specially this course for your reference in the chat as well. Cool. So I will go back to my normal communication that we were having. After this is done, you guys can put up in the comment if this start to fail, that and the coupons are over. I will put up the next coupon. Okay, so we were talking about this, we were talking about the skills and the projects. Especially if we talk about the projects, there is this special requirement that you can fulfill your project project list with open source. Okay, so what exactly is open source? So generally a lot of you would have heard about open source from a very specific point of view, that is Google Summer of Code. Okay, if I tell my own experience with Google Summer of Code, so I was a Google Summer of Code student, I was a Google Summer of Code mentor, and from last 3 years, I'm Google Summer of Code organization admin with JBoss community. So, but when I talk about open source, it is not just about GSOC. It is about, if you open the GitHub or if you open any place where people put their code publicly and you can, really, you just 1 second. Sorry guys, just 1 second. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so we were talking about Google Summer of Code. So Google Summer of Code is event by Google. Every year, approximately 1,300 to 1,500 people get selected. Organizations get selected, students get selected, students apply for organizations select students, and they work for organization, and that they get paid by Google. Okay, paid by Google. So why Google do this? For maybe charity, for maybe something they do not tell us, but eventually it is a good thing. Okay, so with the help of this, with the help of this stuff like Google Summer of Code, you can work with awesome organization. I can showcase किस तरह की organization. Okay, so probably you would have heard about you probably would have heard about VLC, Blender, Linux Foundation, Red Hat. These kind of organizations you probably would have heard. And Google Summer of Code, these organizations exist. Okay, so 2021 अभी start नहीं हुआ है, हमारे को archives पे जाना रहेगा. Archives इन्होंने यहाँ पे नहीं दिया है. GSOC archives 2020 we will open. 2020 29, they have been doing this from many years. Like we opened, 2020 organizations, a lot of awesome organizations. Probably many of you would have heard, like Arduino you would have heard, Blender you would have heard, and Checkstyle. If you are good in development, you would have heard that. OpenCV, a lot of awesome organizations that you would have heard, and you can do them like Debian, DBpedia, and these are pretty much organizations. They put their code on GitHub. If you really want to work with their projects, what you can simply do, you can simply go to the code, you can work with their projects. Okay, so like these are the pull requests this particular guy have created in Elasticsearch during his GSOC. Okay, and Elasticsearch is very awesome product. If you are creating a search engine kind of thing within your app, like if you want to create Uber kind of application, okay, so you can use this. Elasticsearch is an awesome tool for that. I'm just showcasing Elasticsearch just to showcase, what level of products you are working on when you're working in open source. Okay, so Elasticsearch, boom, great thing. And Elastic is a whole stack as well. Okay, you can, if you want to create a logging stuff, you can use Elastic Stack. If you want to create like basic visualization stuff as well, you can use Elastic Stack. You can create admin panel with it, you can create search panel with it. So a lot of things you can do with Elasticsearch, and these kind of great products are coming in what Google Summer of Code. So you can participate in Google Summer of Code and work in these kind of awesome organizations. Okay, and at the same time, what, okay, you are working in the projects. So ठीक है, so generally when you go for the company now, okay, when you go for interviewer will ask के भाई साहब, what you have done. So you can showcase that I have worked with these organization, and these are my open pull requests, these are my close pull requests, these are my merge pull request. Okay, and how these are different. ठीक है, इसमें different क्या हुआ, when we are talking about projects in this sense, कि आपने यहाँ पे डन किया या फिर आपने किसी एक दूसरी रैंडम कंपनी के अंदर डन किया, that now when you are showcasing that you are good with these project, you have done this work, now you can open up, like the link I have shown you at this point. Okay, like this guy, get the code. You have this link binding to this organization which is showcasing all your merge pull request, and if a person want, they can open up this, they can go for the changes that you have done, they can see what exactly were the conversations, how you did, what you did, what, if their organization members were satisfied with that, how, the kind of code review happened there. All these kind of informations are there. Okay, so because of that, okay, these kind of pull requests and open source contributions are great. So I told you about Google Summer of Code. Then there are more. Okay, like Google Summer of Code, there is Outreachy for girls, RGSOC for girls. Okay, there is Code Heat by Fosesha. A lot of organizations are doing a lot of events that you can participate in. Okay, so especially when you're talking about projects, I will suggest that do not just go for the individual projects. Okay, you can go for individual projects, but the project that matters more, especially in terms of interviews and placements, those are especially open source projects or collaborated projects. Okay, if even if you are not really participating in some current open source project, I will suggest that at least have team of 3 to 5 and create something big. Not just showcase your simple one skill and just create a small application with it. I will say that create a big product. Okay, why so? Because with the product you can showcase that you know what you can do, but at the same time you can work in team, you can collaborate with other people, and you can integrate their skills to create something big. Okay, and that is very very important, because when you're going for a company, a company do not just want a person जो थोड़ा सा just can do their part. They want someone who can really integrate their work with someone else. Okay, they can really integrate what they can do with someone else. So because of that, I will say that create a product, participate with a few people, create a product, and with the help of that you can move forward. Okay, so just 1 second. Cool. Okay, so I have got the message that our previous payment is done now, and we have exhausted our coupons for the 70% off. So I'm copying my coupon for 50% and I'm putting this up. Okay, so now this is the coupon. It is not just for the web development, it is for all the 3 6 month courses. You can choose any of the 3 6 months courses from the website. you know uh, Let me just put up the link as well again, or you can just Google search Code for Cause, go for the courses, 6 months courses. This coupon will apply 50% off flat. Already there is 50% off, this is additional 50% off. You will be getting the 6 months courses, 4 days a week live lectures, total 80 live lectures with interview preparation, placement assistance, and everything in just 5,000 rupees. And that is awesome. Mentors like me, Ganga ma'am, Ekta ma'am, Kunal sir, you will be having awesome mentors and everything. So go buy the courses. Okay, uh these coupons are valid till they last. So we have sold our 3 courses. Now we have these 10 courses of 50% off. Just use them and they will get exhausted. 50% plus 50% is not exactly 100%, that is 75%. That is the mathematics that probably would have taught in uh, childhood. 50 plus 50 is not 100. Especially in case of discount. So I will expect this much of calculation from people who are preparing for interviews. I know tumne, you tried to do the sarcasm, but everybody else understand. Okay, so we are back on the topic. Cool, 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 cool. So we were talking about the products that you want to make. Yep. I missed some good amount of questions. Let me just cover those as well. Sorry. 70% exhausted. Just 1 second. Where is my message? Yep. These are for 50%. Okay. When would I be ready for the open source being first year student? Okay. So it is not like that you cannot be ready for open source in the first year. We have a lot of awesome examples where people participate in Google Summer of Code and these kind of event from the first year itself. And even if you're not ready for GSOC and RGSOC and these kind of projects, these kind of events, you can start participating from the first year itself. The kind of requirement that I will suggest to, before starting and contributing on open source, you should have a comfort in, I will say, data structures and algorithms, and basic in, basic of any framework. Okay. And why I will suggest that, because if you're not comfortable with DSLGO, you will not write the optimized code and your pull request will not get merged. You will try, you will not get that much of great experience, and you will be like, they don't respect me or something like that, because they cannot accept a bad code, because it is an open organization. They're expecting code from everybody. So because of that, they cannot accept a bad code. They want some good code. Okay. So because of that, what I'm simply saying is, try to learn how to write optimized code with the help of data structures and algorithms. Okay. So after that, you have to go for a framework, because if you are building something, you cannot really build everything from scratch. So if you are going for JavaScript, learn React, Express, Nest.js, these kind of framework. These kind of framework will make you a full stack developer. You can just be a front end or back end developer. That is not a problem. Or you can go for the full stack thing. So that particular thing can help you a lot when you're really contributing in a project. Okay. So start learning. Obviously, you can also collaborate. If you want to mimic the open source nature and have the practice of that, you can do that locally in some hackathons, or maybe a lot of like Summer of Code, and some local version of GSOC, and these kind of events are happening. Okay. So you can start participating in that as well. Okay. Even Code for Cause is launching one of its version, because a lot of people are having problem with participating with some big organization, thinking that they might not have that much of extra bandwidth to guide students. So even we are launching one version, so that it is mainly task based, not exactly the complete internship based. It will be kind of a bounty based, like issues, and issues will have their corresponding values, and corresponding to which, if you solve them, you will get the bounty, and finally you will have some winners. Okay. So we are also creating something like that. A lot of organizations have something similar to it, so from which you can start learning open source. And it is not just that you should always target that you will get something as reward only, because when you are building yourself, when you're really creating something that can really help you in the long run, that is your real reward. Okay. Make sense? Okay. And cool, cool, cool. Code for Cause. Please suggest C++ source people. It's good. Yep. Okay. So a lot of people are talking about C and C++. I will put up my simple opinion about C and C++. These are good languages. I don't have any grudges about that. But the point is, especially if I talk about C, I will say that colleges should stop teaching C. Okay. And if you're in my support, you can uh, show your support in the chat as well. Colleges should stop teaching C, because as at a point we had to move, leave assembly language behind, because we had to create more. Okay. We had to create more, so because of that, we had to leave assembly language behind. We couldn't really write a lot of awesome things in assembly language, so for that we had to leave that behind, and we had to move toward the advanced language. At the same time, now we have the same kind of scenario for what we have the scenario for C. Okay. So we have a lot of other object oriented and functional language, so we have to leave behind our procedural language. So C is not functional language, C is a procedural language, and we have to leave that behind. Okay. That is very important. So the same thing to some minor level is with C++. Okay, a lot of people are saying that in optimization C++ is great. Okay, so in optimization I accept C++ is great, and still, the projects that work on kernel, especially on operating system, to the very core of it, are written in C++. But the same time, if you really want to create a server kind of application, mobile application, this kind of application, you won't write them in C++. And these kind of concepts are supported by lead code and these kind of great platform as well. If you solve a question on lead code, you will see that they are saying that they will compare your solution to only the solutions submitted in the same language. So if you're submitting your solution in JavaScript, they will only compare it to JavaScript solutions. And why that? Because they don't want you to compare the languages, because when you have some particular requirements, like if you want to solve this question and you are making a JavaScript application for this. Okay, you are making a JavaScript application, but this code may execute fast in C++. You will not simply switch to C++ for that particular functionality. Okay, you have this JavaScript application, you will write the whole application in that fashion only, and as you need, you will use the proper functionality of JavaScript to make that happen. Okay, so the same thing apply to all the languages. Okay, so specifically because of that, Java is good, JavaScript is good, Python is good, C++ is also good, but I'm saying that soon enough we will have to move past that. We cannot be stuck to C++ because it is specially binding us in development, and especially the kind of behavior happening in the companies, especially after the corona. They want people who can directly contribute to development. They don't want people who are very stuck to competitive programming or data structure algorithms only. They want people who can really build something, because they don't have enough resources to simply just let me hire this guy, train them for 6 months, eventually after that. Okay, it is showing the code is invalid. So I don't think so. Let me just see if all of the 50% have been exhausted. No, I think three of them are remaining. It will not be an invalid code. We have three remaining for this. Okay, you can try. Okay, so Java or C++ as first language. Yeah. So Java or C++ both are good, but if you're really target toward development, I will suggest Java. Okay, I will suggest Java. क्वेश्चन, वेब डेवलपमेंट करके प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनीज में जॉब लग जाती है क्या? यस, लग जाती है, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं आती. यू कैन यू सिंपली हैव टू टारगेट व्हाट एग्जैक्टली यू आर अचीविंग. सो डीएसएल को तुम्हारे को सीखना रहेगा. यू कैन नॉट स्किप दैट, बट एट द सेम टाइम you can have more advantage with web development and these kind of different development technologies that you can learn, because with the help of that you can really showcase your projects and you can get referred as well, because generally the open kind of ways that you put yourself in, you have lesser chance of getting selected. But if you put yourself in the references, okay, so the first thing that guy would like to see, because that guy cannot see if you are good enough in DSLGO or not, but they can see if you are good enough in project development or not, because they can communicate with you on that fashion. So because of that, a person who can see that you are good in creating softwares, or creating good, contributing good in open source, a person is more comfortable in suggesting you or referring you in their company. Okay, that makes sense. So because of that, a lot of people can refer you to their company if you are good with development, especially in I will say startup companies, and as well as in product based companies, and still in service based companies as well. When you're getting referred, generally they check data structure algorithms as well as the development part, because they want to exactly fulfill the requirement that they have in particular team. Okay, so because of that, that particular thing happens. Okay. Okay, so this guy is asking, I'm from a non-tech field can I contribute to open source? Yes, you can contribute to open source. Okay, open source do not discriminate के तुम कौन सी branch से हो, or things like that. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, so yeah, we have exhausted our 50%. So we have got our 20 code for 20% off. You can use that, and I will continue to my discussion. Okay. Okay. So Dr. DSA is asking for the roadmap, and for that I will simply say that if you want roadmap, we have made a lot of videos on that. Just one second. You open our channel. Okay, or maybe roadmap. We have made roadmap for all the years. Okay, first year, second year, third year, fourth year. We have made all the roadmaps that you would need. Okay, and especially if you are, you might say that you are from BCA or things like that, who do not have the 4-year structure. So generally the third year, the first year structure, first year, second year is the primary part of the years. Like if you are in MCA, it is more like your first year or second year only. But if you are in like BCA or MCA, also if you are in different architecture, I will say that third year and fourth year videos are more toward your placement oriented roadmaps, and first year, second year videos are like getting started. If you want to really get started, watch your first year and second year solution roadmap videos, awesome videos. You can simply search code for cause roadmap and you will find the videos. Okay, as simple as that. Kunal have explained very fluently and very awesomely how exactly you can get the awesome output from your things. Okay, and how I can say that Kunal will say only exact why should I have said that this point is because Kunal was my student from long time. So we started, we are the team of 6 people who have started Code for Cause. So Kunal is one of the awesome person in that. So follow the advice and you will create something great. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay, Hack Baba is asking how to be part of JBoss Red Hat community. Is contributing to their GitHub is the only way? No, contributing to GitHub takes some time. Before that is, if you are a user of something, you are contributing. I will say that if you want to become the contributor, first thing you should do is take part. Okay, take part as the user. Okay, so like if you want, like I will tell one awesome product of JBoss, that is Infinispan. Okay, so Infinispan, sorry, I misspelled it. So Infinispan is about caching and distributed data. Okay, right, make your own applications with it. Use this as library, use this as tool, start using it in your own products on some small projects and things like that. And as you get comfortable with Infinispan, you can start taking a look a bit deeper. Okay, so what exactly Infinispan is doing, what are the different libraries, what are the different functions for that? Because now if you're comfortable with the user part of this library, you'll be much more comfortable in other part as well. Okay, and obviously JBoss is a bit difficult type of organization in this sense, especially because it is a middleware kind of organization, and middleware is you do not have a end product for the same thing. uh, Dr. Dace is asking JBoss Java ke logo ke liye. JBoss is not just for Java. Last year in GSOC we had projects in Ruby, we had project in Golang, we had Java as well. So JBoss in itself, had a prior understanding of that it is about Java only, but not now. We can we have project in Ruby, we have project in Python, we have some project in JavaScript as well. So we have project in all the languages. Okay, so especially you can see that a lot of projects internally they use Java as well, but especially when we talk about the endpoints Okay, when we talk about the clients or some basic distributions, we have distributions in all the languages, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, Rajkumar is asking, obviously we have done a lot of good content on the session. We have covered the kind of different kind of companies that you can target, why you should start with data structure algorithm, why you should go for development, why not skip either of data structure algorithm and development, because all of them are very important. But coming back to the question of freelancing, how good is freelancing? Freelancing is good if you can get something out of it, but at the same time do not exhaust yourself. Okay, freelancing is like learning, especially freelancing in the college life. If I say, freelancing after the college life is very different, but freelancing during the college life is, if you are hindering your learning part during freelancing, it can become a bad process. Okay, because you cannot prove what you have done during freelancing, while in open source you can. Okay, so even though it might look that with freelancing you are getting the experience, but at the same time you are getting the money, but sometimes it might get bad for you, because if you want to showcase what you have already done, at some point you might miss that. Shubham Jha is asking, sir, give 50% coupon code. 50% coupon code is now invalid because it have been exhausted. Now we have this 20% coupon code on the screen. Uh, okay, okay. Is Linux necessary for development? Linux is not necessary for development. You can use Windows, Mac, or any setup. But generally, I suggest Linux uh, because the commands that you will find on internet, a lot of time debugging can become very easy, like especially in kind of native libraries. It can become very comfortable when you are using scalable items like Docker and things, and a lot of things, and the development size can be very comfortable in Linux. But especially when you have some different positions like me today. Okay, if I have to teach online, some points are not good in Linux for that. Okay, I generally have to use either Windows or Mac for that when I'm teaching. Though when I'm working, I use Linux, but when I teach, I have to switch. Okay, because the writing tablet compatibilities and like these kind of software not good in Linux, but development part are good in Linux. Okay, so because of that, even though you cannot use Linux for everything, you can use Linux for a lot of awesome things, and especially development. Okay. Okay, so competitive or full stack? It is a tough question. I cannot simply choose one of these two because both are awesome. You cannot simply say that competitive is bad or full stack is bad, because that depend on especially what you are expecting to learn. Okay, because when I talk about full stack, okay, you are learning to make things. Okay, and especially personally me, I learned DSLGO at my time, but at the after that, before going for competitive, you know I learned development first, and it helped me a lot in learning competitive. Why so? Because earlier when I started competitive after DSLGO in my college life, you know I was like, why to optimize? Why we have to go through this much of effort just to optimize this when it is working fine for this much of data? When we will need really a bigger data than this? Okay, this is a good question, right? Because you will be saying like, Q, why I have to learn this much when I can simply move toward this and I can then go for development? Why to learn the optimization? Okay, but when you learn the optimization, you really create something great. Okay, when you're learning optimization, so because you create development application, you see, with data they get exploded. Your application is not working as optimized as nicely as it should have been. Okay, your code is not looking as pretty as it should have. After that, come to competitive, you know learn the optimization. Okay, space and time complexities and things like that, right? Learn to create nice readable algorithms, understand how to write design patterns. Okay, so these are awesome things that you will be able to appreciate after you learn development. But a lot of people have this tendency that they can learn these things and not get irritated even though they don't know what this is for. Okay, so in that case it is also a good path that first you do DS algo. Okay, then you go for, these are two different paths. Okay, first thing is DS algo, then second thing can be either development or it can be either competitive. Okay, and after your DS algo is done, this is like interchangeable path. Okay, you learn development, then because of development you need to go for optimization, then back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Okay, you keep on learning development and you keep on learning competitive, you keep on giving the tests, you keep on participating in different contests and different hackathons, different open source events, and you keep on growing yourself. Okay, and after this whole thing is done and you are prepared, because you have worked a lot of projects in development, especially probably in open source, you will have good connections. Okay, and because of good connections you will be able to refer yourself. Okay, reference is a great thing, because I will say that for everyone here we will have a company that do not come to our college but we would like to go to. Okay, sometime a person may come that भाई कोई सी कंपनी आती नहीं है अपने कॉलेज में, तो ठीक है, so for them it is good. If you are a person who say that in my college every company come, but the problem is that they have this kind of criteria that I do not fulfill. So still if you are going for the reference, the percentage criteria is gone. A lot of such criteria are gone because you're referred as a nice person. Okay, nice person, that you can code well, you can do the project well, you can be a part of the team as well, because you have team communication and things like that. So now they will evaluate you on totally different scale. Okay, so because of that I'm saying do this, get the connections, get the reference, participate in some awesome interviews, and get the company that you want to go for. Okay, obviously if you do not get the connections, or maybe you get not that much great connection that you get the direct reference, you will have at least uh, you know benefit that you will know that this company get the process done. Like if they have some off campus placements and things like that, if you have references they will at least tell you that you can apply like this, you will have questions like this, and because of that you will have much more better understanding of things. Okay, okay, cool, great. So we had a very awesome, very amazing session today. If you want, we have still 10 coupons for 20% remaining. So cool, yeah. So we have, yes, 10 remaining. So you can distribute this coupon, that's 20% coupon, in your friends, and that's it. Is international placement possible as off campus? Okay, nice question, Saranshwat. Yes, international placements are possible off campus as well only. So what I will suggest that if you want to go for international placement, put your focus on references, because if you want your first job on international, it is very difficult to just open the LinkedIn, apply and get selected. Okay, it is very difficult. So for off campus, any kind of off campus, I will suggest that you build your connection base. Okay, and connection base is not like that just open LinkedIn and send to everybody. That is not building up your connection base. Okay, because just random connection at LinkedIn will not refer you. Okay, you cannot just write a Selenium script and send to all my connection, hello sir, my name is this, I have done this that, and refer me in your esteemed company. When I see a message like this on my LinkedIn, I simply ignore that. If I do not know this person, I haven't interacted with this person, if this person have given me this much of paragraph to read, okay, and then resume to attached, I will not just read that whole paragraph, because that will not make sense to me. Because Why I should read that? You haven't communicated with me. I don't know what you are, what you have done, and I'm not interested in reading this big paragraph for 100 people. Okay, so you have to sparkle yourself so that when we communicate, you can showcase what you are, and that is not by the scripted message that you are sending. Okay, that makes sense. भैया डॉक्टर डीएस इज आस्किंग, भैया जावा सीखने का फायदा है या फिर नोड जेएस सीखें, प्लीज बताइए। जावा सीखने का औसम फायदा है। जावा इज माय लव, बट जावा स्क्रिप्ट का भी अपने आप में एक अलग फायदा है, बिकॉज यू आर स्टिल डायरेक्टली लर्निंग द डेवलपमेंट एसोसिएटेड टू इट। फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड फुल स्टैक हो जाता है, ठीक है। तो अगर आपको कॉम्पिटिटिव के साथ जाने में अभी इंटरेस्ट पहले है, तो आई विल सजेस्ट ऑब्वियसली जावा के हिसाब से डेवलपमेंट भी बहुत जल्दी यू विल बी एबल टू रीच टू डेवलपमेंट टू गुड लेवल वेरी easily, but at the same time I will say that competitive थोड़ा ज्यादा फीलिंग में है, then go for competitive, थोड़ा ज्यादा फीलिंग में तो go for Java. Okay, development थोड़ा ज्यादा फीलिंग में है तो go for JavaScript, but at the same time with the both the languages you can do both the things. And if you want to go for machine learning, Python is the best language. Okay, so in today's session we discussed a lot about web development and competitive programming, but at the same time machine learning has the same kind of criteria जहाँ पे भी at all the points I said web development, you can put machine learning, it will have the same kind of thing. Okay, भैया Python में pro बनने या Java में, okay, you can choose any, especially Java and Python, you can choose any. I will just say that if you want to go for machine learning, तो उसमें फिर क्वेश्चन खत्म हो जाता है। इफ यू वांट टू गो फॉर मशीन लर्निंग, देन एग्जैक्टली पाइथन फॉर राइट नाउ। ओके, डू नॉट वॉच दिस वीडियो 5-6 years लेटर एंड डिसाइड व्हाट आई सेड। if you are watching this video now or in this year, then if you want to go for machine learning, go for Python. Okay, do not do a loop. Like if you have decided that you want to go for machine learning, then first learning Java, then learning Python, then for machine learning, because your first language, if you put sufficient energy on that, you will get great placement. Okay, you will get great knowledge and you will get great placement. Maksud is asking GSOC के बारे में. So because first thing, our time for today is quite done, so you can obviously open our playlist, and we have a playlist for, just 1 second, we have a playlist for open source as well. Okay, so because a lot of people have a lot of questions about how to participate in open source, we have made a very great playlist on how to participate in open source guidance. Okay, you can take a look at that if you want. you know uh, many of you are like that, fees, even though fees is quite cheap, but for some of you it might not be that much affordable. So for that, it is our 100% off coupon. Okay, like if you want to just study the content, you can study that on our YouTube itself. Okay, machine learning boot camp we have done, 18 lectures we have done on complete machine learning. We have done great amount of content on competitive programming and things like that, on data style algorithms, Python. We have taught a lot of these things on YouTube. We teach more content, more and more content on YouTube every now and then. So subscribe to the channel, because you will see all the great content. Okay, workshops with a lot of awesome people. Jason Mayers, if you have worked with TFJS, or if you have heard about TensorFlow in JavaScript, this is the guy, that is, behind the scene. And a lot of, sessions with a lot of people. Okay, we have done a lot of great sessions as well. So just take a look at our YouTube. You will find a lot of great things, Okay, in terms of playlist, in terms of normal events. You can open up any of our videos, and you will find that we have linked to approximately all of our platforms that you can take part. You can search us on LinkedIn, Mediums, and you can especially on Meetup. Okay, because approximately all the events that we do, we put it on Meetup, so that you get calendar invite and everything, and you can keep yourself updated when you're participating in our event. Okay, very great question. why to go for private job and not for government job? Okay. So how many of you are interested in private and how many of how many of you are interested in government job? You can put up in the comment box. Obviously, this is probably this is the last question I will be taking today, because my time today is done and I don't want to stretch this session way beyond 1 hour, because that is not suitable for a person watching it later on. We can cover the remaining content in the any another session, or you can keep on asking the questions in the comment sections after the video is done. We can respond to that. Okay. So you know government job versus private job. Okay, this is a very great question. And why so? Especially why so? Because government job have a very bad reputation of killing what you want to stand for. Okay, because in government job, as you're preparing for bank, or maybe for especially in the clerical part, or any random stuff. I'm not including the IAS and these things. Okay, I'm not including IAS kind of positions, because those are very great awesome positions. Okay, but except of that, if I talk about the normal thing, just 1 second, sorry. uh I wanted to hide that, but instead I did some mistake, and because of that I will need to put up the comment again. Okay. Okay, so government का क्या नुकसान है? What is the problem with government job? Okay, because you're not shifting again and again, and because of that you might end up in the environment where you're not making the thing you want to make. Okay, and the main important part, if you really want to work till you retire or maybe retire early or things like that, you have to keep optimizing yourself, you have to keep changing yourself. So generally I suggest that you have a turnaround time of 5 to 6 years. Bro, I will have to mute you. Sorry. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so what I was telling, I was telling that there should be turnaround of 5 years. Okay, you should be able to change yourself and what you are doing in 5 years. Okay, there can be smaller turnaround as well. Okay, smaller turnaround like 2 years to 3 years. You are shifting your domain, like right now you are working with Python, then you are working with some other language or maybe some other frameworks. So that is 2 to 3 years turnaround, and then there is big 5 year turnaround, and then there is this 15-year turnaround. Okay. Okay, so like in 21 you get to some job, then at the age of 36 you have to completely change yourself to something different. Okay, even though you are in software, even though you are in hardware, or you are in government job, you are in private job, you know put yourself at a position that you can reevaluate everything till the age of 36 and can choose what you are best at. Okay, maybe if you are full stack developer now, you have a complete different opinion of the life when you are at the age of 36. So do not put yourself in the position where you do not have anything in your hand when you're at the age of 36. Okay, you should have everything in your hand, and because of that I like private jobs. Okay, or maybe creating your own business. Okay, so anything like that where when you can really change what you are doing at any moment of time, that is great. ओके डॉक्टर डीएसए, भैया जेएस में डीएसए सीखने के क्या फायदे हैं बता दो. ठीक है, सो ब्रो टाइम आउट पे मैं अभी भी पुट कर रहा हूँ तुम्हारे को, बट आई विल रेस्पॉन्ड टू दैट बिकॉज यू आर वेरी कीन इन आस्किंग दैट. जावास्क्रिप्ट में डीएसएल को सीखने के क्या फायदे हैं? ठीक है, आई सेड डीएसए इज कंसेप्ट ओनली. It doesn't matter if it is in Java, Python, JS, or any other language. Okay, so why? Obviously, we are teaching DSA in Java, Python, JavaScript, all the languages. But why somebody would study DSL algorithm in JavaScript? So if you are going for web development and if you want to make React application or Express application with JavaScript, so what you want at that moment is you want your comfort with JavaScript you should excel at JavaScript when you are going for React. Okay, that is very, very important. But at the same time, there is one more thing that should happen, that you are able to write the optimized code that is optimized for JavaScript. Okay, because there will be a limitation that some inbuilt data structures are there in Java but not in Python, maybe not in JavaScript. So there is this interoperability of predefined things that we have with a particular uh, that uh, when we're talking about any language, generally they have different kind of capabilities. Okay, so when you're writing the code, when you are writing the code in any platform, if you are writing the code, if you want to make your project in JavaScript, but for data set algorithms you have a totally different language, so the concept that you're learning for your competitive programming, you're not able to put them in your development. And the concept you're learning in your development with the same language, you will not be able to put in the different language. So because of that, I'm not saying that you should only do DSLGO with JavaScript, but if you want to learn web development, especially in JavaScript, and you want to use that, then it is very, very nice to learn JavaScript and learn DSLGO in JavaScript. Okay, the same way, if you want to go for machine learning, I will say learn DS and Algo in Python. Okay, because the benefit of DSLGO that you want, how to you know understand the existing data structures and how to create your own data structures, how to understand the existing algorithm and how to create your own algorithm, you can do all that with the help of this. But at the same time, if you want to go for machine learning, why to put up a loop? Okay, why to learn something, then something else, then something else, and then finally land up in machine learning? You can just learn DSLGO in Python, then learn machine learning in Python. Okay, that will be an easier path for you. Okay, because now you can focus your energy and you can finally keep on creating things. Okay, so because of that, I'm putting up this approach. Okay, so that is fine for everyone. Okay, okay, just we have a lot of more questions remaining, but what I will suggest, develop my website. We have a lot of questions remaining, but because we have to end up the session today, what you guys can do, I will guarantee that after the video is over and the main comment section is there, put your question there and I will respond to it. That is my guarantee. But for right now, I will take the permission from all of you, you know कि अच्छा अब हम चलते हैं, ठीक है? That is bye for right now. I will see. We have 3 more coupons remaining. Yes, we have 3 more coupons remaining. You can use the coupon and you can book your seat. Okay, so that is all from my side. Bye bye. So I would love that if you guys can put a good bye bye to me for the session, and after the session is done, comment on it, like the video, and share with your friends that Code for Cause is providing some awesome courses. Okay, and you can attend our sessions. And yes, डॉक्टर डी से कमेंट सेक्शन में टाइम आउट नहीं करूंगा if you don't put multiple comments back to back. Okay, so the only thing is that where to use the coupon, just go to the website. Let me just showcase on my page. Go for Code for Cause courses. Like I go for this web development course, I select the batch, I fill up my information. After I submit my information, like I do this, Anuj, some email at the rate cfc at the rate sorry .org, csc, graduated, bbb, submit. Okay, this is the page, and here you can add the promotion code. Okay, so as simple as that. So that was my last question for today that I would cater. Uh, Aditi Gupta, sir, what is the user JavaScript? I will respond to that if you put in the comment section later on. Dream Suite, will there be future discounts? So I'm thinking of doing one more session like this with giveaways, but I cannot guarantee that for right now. Let's see, let's see what happens. Okay. We might come up with one more session giveaways. That depend on the love you guys put us up with. Okay. So that's it for today. Bye bye and see you guys in the comment section. See you.